Hi, Emma.
Hi, Suzanne. Great to see you.
You too. Setting a little context, I think our viewers will know that you and I both just took a trip to Jordan and Syria with the UN Refugee Agency in our capacities as CEOs of the national partners. And I think we wanted to do just a quick touch base and ask each other a couple of questions about the trip. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, well, my first question for you is what most surprised you about the experience that we had together?
Well, it was an incredible trip. One of the things that I've been reflecting on is that when we arrived in Syria, we learned that one of the very early things that our team there has been working on is helping refugees with property documentation. And so many refugees and internally displaced people are now returning home. In fact, there's 2.5 million who have returned home now in the last year alone. And the local infrastructure that would normally be in place around that is not there. And so UNHCR has stepped in as a humanitarian agency to set up a cadastral office. I didn't even hardly know what that was.
Yeah.
It basically enables families to be able to prove their ownership of a property, and that is a real enabler so that those families can actually move back into their home. Sometimes there might be someone else living there. And in almost all cases, there is damage and destruction to the property. And so you really need that documentation to be able to enable, a safe and secure return home for yourself and your family. And I was really impressed that UNHCR is, a jack of all trades and is able to, in these situations where a kind of a unique circumstance developed, that we stepped in quickly and filled that gap.
Yeah, yeah, good one. I love that.
What about you? What was your biggest surprise?
I mean, I guess it's this idea that, sort of two things can be true. I just didn't know what to expect when we entered into Syria, driving north out of Jordan. And the idea that a city like Damascus and the sort of old town area is still sort of preserved, and the sort of like the energy of the city is still there. We went to a souk, we visited a beautiful mosque. And then you would drive just a little bit outside of Damascus to these suburbs, and the devastation of the landscape is literally heart-stopping. And I think about how hard it is to sort of come back to that landscape, even when that landscape is maybe what you've been dreaming of for the past 12, 14 years while living resettled in a place like Lebanon or resettled in a place like Jordan temporarily. So I guess I was just really holding with the people that we met this idea of two truths, like so happy to be home and yet a still pretty long journey ahead.
Definitely. And as you said that, I was just thinking about what it's like for children who are coming with their parents and who are coming to Syria for the first time,
Yeah.
and what they see, what they experience in those early days, and that anxiety of being somewhere that you've heard so much about, and yet you don't know it at all. Did you have another kind of big takeaway from the trip?
Yeah, I think it's this idea that, you and I are working in this space and we hear so much about people who've been displaced and are seeking asylum or are considered refugees. And this sort of gold standard of being able to go back home is rare and pretty elusive. And so on the one hand, like such excitement coming into this experience in Syria, but leaving with a sense of how hard it is, and that it takes such a strong multi-sectoral approach that it hangs delicately in the balance for a bit of time, even with a key agency like UNHCR playing, kind of a convening role and a collaborating role and trying to connect dots. You really just realize that you've been fighting for returns and then they happen, and yet the work isn't over overnight, right? There is still some time that stretches ahead of us. And so for me, a key takeaway just around patience and resilience as we try to help this sort of exploring this opportunity of Syria and hoping that it works. What about you? What was your kind of key takeaway?
Well, very much along the same lines, that this is a historic opportunity. I mean, we're living in a time where peace is rare. It's increasingly rare. And this is a country that's been at war for 14 years. And I was reflecting on that too, because World War II lasted 5, 6 years. And when you imagine, 14 years of a country, mired in destruction, instability. The economy is in a very, very challenging place. It's gone from being a prosperous country to one of the poorest in the world, certainly in the region. And yet, I felt so much hope from the Syrians that we met who spoke of their happiness at being free after decades of being, in a dictatorship. Yeah. And at the same time, the fact that UNHCR seems to be known to everyone. And that showed me first that the country has been through so much, and so many people have been displaced and have come into contact with UNHCR. But we have an incredible opportunity as the humanitarian agency that was the most operational during the war. We have the capacity to scale up those networks, those local implementing partners, that expertise, those trusted relationships, with government, with local authorities, with community groups. And so we have an incredible opportunity to, work with our partners and for all of our supporters and donors to engage with us in helping rebuild Syria and helping those families that are returning home be able to rebuild their homes, rebuild their lives, and look forward to a future where Syria will be safe and prosperous. And that was so powerful.
Yeah, agreed. So much beautiful, resilience and anticipation and hope, and to think what a key and central role UNHCR has played historically and has the opportunity to play again now and moving forward. So an honor and a privilege for us to travel. Thanks for the quick convo around takeaways and surprises. We should do this after every time we travel together.
We should. It was great chatting with you.
Thanks, Emma.